Welcome back to Tact X, and in this game practice we're going to be focusing on playing out from the back, which is linked to Roberto De Zerbi's Brighton side. As you can see within this game practice, we have all 22 players. The Blues are set up in a 4-2-4 formation, and the Whites are set up in a 4-2-3-1 formation. As you can see on the pitch, we have 4 central zones where we can work through 6 playing through patterns. Each pattern will have 2 parts to it. So they'll have a shadow play, so the players can work through the sequence, and then it turns into a live game. So for the first pattern, the keeper would play to one of the nearest centre-backs. We would then ask the centre-back to provoke the press by putting the foot on the ball, and we encourage the 9 to go and press the centre-back, and the centre-back plays back to the goalkeeper, and then the 9 jump presses again. From here, we'll work the first pattern. So it's to play into zones 1 or 2. So we're playing to the blue 8, for this example, who then plays into the centre-back, who is free. Now the detail behind this will be the movement of the 8, so work in the space, or prepare the space then to arrive. And the detail of the pass from the goalkeeper is to make sure it's the right weight to allow the 8 to play first time. Once that ball's been played, then we play live. So everybody is free to move and normal game conditions. We would then start from the beginning and work the opposite way. For the purpose of this practice though, we're going to move on to pattern 2. So again, it's playing through the goalkeeper, but we're playing into zones 3 and 4. So the goalkeeper will start the pattern by playing into one of the nearest centre-backs. The 9 does the same pressing movements as what they did in the first pattern, but the difference is we ask the white 10 to be aggressive and press the second centre-back. The 2 midfielders for the whites must pursue. The 2 blue midfielders must drop below to create space beyond. From here, the wide forwards would then move in below to create that central overload, and the keeper would then look to play that driven pass through the middle, and as that ball's being played, the 2 midfielders would spin and support the 2 wide forwards from below. Again, once this action has been completed, it then turns into a live game from here. So pattern 3 is through the goalkeeper again. So the same sequence for the whites. So be aggressive in the press. But this time, instead of playing into the wide forwards, I'm going to play into the central forwards. So each player is getting used to being part of the playing out structure. Again, once that ball's been played in, the 2 deepest midfielders must spin and then support, and the game becomes live again. Moving on to pattern 4. All we're going to do now is look at the centre backs. So you'll see the same sequences. The ball is played into the centre back. This time we ask the white player to press from the inside and stop them playing into the goalkeeper. Again, can the white provoke the press? And then from here, we're looking for the movements away from the ball again to create space to use a link pass. So it might be a movement beyond to go below, who then plays into the free centre-back on the opposite side, and then the game becomes live again. Again, we'd work both ways before we move on to pattern 5. This time the centre-backs are going to look into zones 3 and 4. In this scenario, we're asking the whites to be more aggressive. So the 10's jumped on again, the midfielders have jumped on, and then we're looking for the wide forwards to drop in below and then look to either turn or link the player. Again, encouraging the 2 holding midfielders to support from below quickly. And then onto the last pattern. Instead of playing into the wide forwards, they're going to play into the central forwards. Again, making sure that everybody gets used to working the patterns and everybody understands their roles and responsibilities. A progression to this game is that you can now let the players play freely, allow the whites to press in any manner that they want, and there's no shadow play, to see if the players can take the patterns that you've gone through into a live game. The practice structure, you can pause and have a read through. The main bit I'm going to highlight is the area sizes. So if you're wanting to make it easier for your team to run through it and look at some of the technical actions, you make the areas bigger. And obviously if you're wanting to stress the centre backs out or the whole team, then you make the areas smaller so the defensive team have less distance to cover so they can get pressure on. The stresses in here is to allow the white team to press at any time. You could then go into a live game and get the whites to press in different structures and different formations just to change the picture up as you would go through in any game. And then the physical load we spoke about in terms of the distances. The three key things that we'd be looking to get from this practice would be, did we recognise when and how to provoke the press? Did we recognise when to play into the pressure? And what was the detail like when we played through the pressure? And I just want to finish off by saying thank you for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed the full session with a technique, skill and game.